Your brain booted up before you alarmed it. It's already running 14 background processes you didn't schedule. Slack, the PR you didn't merge, the founder call at 9, the feature that's 80% done and somehow never done. This is not a focus problem. This is an architecture problem. Your cognitive stack needs a hard reset, not more input. Not another productivity framework bolted onto broken foundation. Right now, for the next 10 minutes, you're going to execute a controlled shutdown of everything that is not essential. And what's left is signal. Your brain booted up before you alarmed it. That's why you're here. High output days don't start with hustle. They start with a cleared cache. When your RAM is flooded with unprocessed tasks from yesterday, half-finished decisions, ambient anxieties, low priority noise, your processing speed for what actually matters drops to near zero. Clarity is not a personality trait. It is a systems outcome. Right now, you're going to let the non-critical processes idle. Not delete, not force quit, just deprioritize. Breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Release for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. High output days don't start with hustle. They start with a cleared cache. Every notification you haven't silenced is an open API call draining your energy budget. Think about it with precision. Each ping is an unsolicited context switch, and context switching has a well-documented cost, a 23-minute recovery window per interruption. You're not distracted. You're operating a system with no rate limiting. This morning, before you open a single tab, you're going to set one non-negotiable rule. The first 90 minutes of your operating day belong to your highest leverage output, not your inbox, not your team's fires, your deep work, your compounding work. Your future self's portfolio is built in those 90 minutes. Everything else is maintenance. Every notification you haven't silenced is an open API call draining your energy budget. You can afford to let it queue. Multitasking is not a feature. It's a bug disguised as ambition. The highest output operators you study, the ones you benchmark yourself against, they're not doing more things. They're doing one thing with surgical, unreasonable focus. That is the actual leverage play. Not the new tool, not the better workflow stack. The unreasonable commitment to a single thread. This morning, your system gets one job, just one. Before you touch anything else, name it. Not a task list, one sentence. Today, the only output that matters is fill that variable now, in your mind, quietly, with precision. Multitasking is not a feature. And now you have a single thread to execute against. Your task backlog is not a to-do list. It's a psychological debt ledger. Every item sitting there unresolved is a small, persistent drain on your working memory. Not because it's urgent, but because your system keeps pinging it. Like a cron job you forgot to disable. And the cruel irony? Most of what's on that list will never materially move the output needle. It's a low ROI maintenance disguised as productivity. Here's the reframe. You're not behind. You're selectively executing against a prioritized queue. The items bleeding your focus today, are they actually PO? Or have they just been sitting there long enough to feel like they should be? Breathe. You're allowed to archive without execution. You're allowed to say, not now, not this quarter, not this version of the product. Your task backlog is a psychological debt ledger, and you just audited it. The calmest person in the room holds the most leverage, not the loudest, not the one with the most tabs open, not the one who responds to Slack within 90 seconds at 11 p.m. The one who has engineered their internal state as precisely as their external systems. You already know how to build products under pressure. You already know how to ship under constraint. The question is whether you've architected your nervous system with the same rigor. Stillness is not the absence of ambition. It is ambition operating from a stable base layer. Think of the founders who seem untouchable under pressure. That quality is not innate. It is trained. It is practiced. It is exactly what you are doing right now. The calmest person in the room holds the most leverage. You are engineering that now. Last night's screen time is today's cognitive tax. The blue light doesn't just disrupt melatonin. It keeps your threat detection systems online, past their operational window. Your amygdala doesn't distinguish between a production incident and a Twitter argument at 1 a.m. Both register as a fire that needs monitoring. So, you wake up preloaded with low-grade cortisol, not because something is wrong, but because your system never got permission to go fully offline. This morning, you are reclaiming the processing power that the screen debt stole. Every slow exhale is a cleanup process. Every breath in is fresh, allocated memory. Every moment you stay present here, without checking, without solving, is time your prefrontal cortex spends rebuilding its decision quality stack. You are not resting. You are recompiling. Last night's screen time is today's cognitive tax, and you're feeling the return right now. Imposter syndrome is a data integrity error, not a character flaw. Your system ingested unverified external benchmarks, the highlight reels of other founders, the curated LinkedIn case studies, the funding announcements without the 3 years of blood underneath them. And it ran a comparison against incomplete internal data. Corrupt input generates corrupt output. That is not a you problem. That is an architecture problem. Here's a clean read of the actual data. You are still operating. That is signal. You are still building. That is signal. You are in this room, running this recalibration at this hour. That is signal. The bar is not their finish line. The bar is, are you executing against your actual edge? Your edge is specific. Your architecture is specific. Your timing is specific. No direct comparison is valid. Imposter syndrome is a data integrity error, and you just patched the source. Focus is not a mood. It is a deployable state you can initialize on command. Top-tier engineers don't wait to feel motivated before they open the IDE. They run the initialization sequence. Environment set, context loaded, distraction stack closed, and the state arrives through the ritual, not before it. This is your initialization sequence. Right now, as this track plays, you are running it. In 2 minutes, you're going to close this audio, open exactly one window, the window that belongs to your single thread objective, and you're going to give it 90 uninterrupted minutes. No Slack, no email, no quick checks, just you and the highest leverage output you are capable of. Here is what that output builds over time. Compounding, shipped product, real leverage, irreversible progress. Focus is not a mood. It is a deployable state, and it is initializing now. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a committed push. Perfectionism is an undeployable product. It sits in local development, endlessly refactored, never in production. It never ships. It never gets user feedback. It never compounds. The most valuable thing you can do today is start the thing imperfectly. Push the draft. Ship the MVP. Send the message. Put something real into the world's feedback loop. You have done the internal work this morning. Your cache is clear. Your single thread is loaded. Your base layer is stable. Now execute. Not perfectly, not completely, just forward, committed, intentional. Every shipped unit compounds. Every day you execute from this state, calm, clear, singular, you are building the kind of operator your future self will actually respect. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a committed push. Now, go build something real.